in the mission and the values of libraries and the idea of having knowledge and information accessible and free, and also in bringing people together. I think that sort of helps build empathy for people and also connections between people, and sort of ultimately makes for a better society. We are an institution that stands for the idea that everyone should have access to information and knowledge so that they can live a full and fulfilled life. We are also a research library. You can see the Declaration of Independence in Thomas Jefferson's hand to, the papers of Maya Angelou, to everything in between. And we make those resources available to scholars and anyone in the public who wants to use them for their own creative purposes. Let's not forget that it's an iconic building and people are drawn to it. And then, of course, we have our programs that bring all of that to life. One of my most wonderful and favorite programs was the celebration of Margaret Atwood's 80th birthday. There were readings by Margaret Atwood herself, also Anne Dowd, who is in the TV version of The Handmaid's Tale. There was a performance of excerpts of the opera of The Handmaid's Tale by the Boston Lyric Opera. There was a conversation with Margaret Atwood, Gio Tolentino, and Rebecca Traister. When I was 11 years old, one of my cousins said, "Okay, I'm going to take you to Greenwich Village." I was just blown away. I said, "All right, I have to live here." You're 11 years old, you're coming from a pretty sheltered suburb in Montreal, and you experience, Washington Square Park and the Village. That set me on the path of wanting to move to New York. I really credit New York with a big part of me having the opportunity to have the kind of career that I have. I always wanted to be a human rights lawyer. I ended up representing women who had survived the war in Bosnia in a lawsuit against Radovan Karadzic, the war criminal. From that, I went on to academia and directing study abroad programs where I got to host Supreme Court justices, to working at Hunter College to be part of a renovation of the former home of Franklin and Eleanor Roosevelt and turning it into a center for public dialogue and research in public policy and in human rights. And ultimately from that, I ended up coming to this unbelievable institution, the New York Public Library. I learn every day. It's like being in college without the exams. An attitude, an openness to the world, an understanding of the importance of multiculturalism, multilingualism. Someone who loves the diversity and the size and the beauty of New York, but also recognizes its flaws. And you don't give up on the city, you keep trying to work to fix those flaws and those inequities, but you love the city no matter what.